So welcome to this last class of Fundaments of Life. In fact, I chose this background, but it's not very honest, this background, because you cannot see 2020. I mean, let me move. You can see it, but in fact, yeah, it's the last class of Zoom in 2020, but definitely not in 2021. But anyway, it's nice to celebrate this because you made it. We're at the end of this course, and next semester we will start another course, which is really nice, which is called Health and Society. So the class of today is basically saying goodbye, wishing you good luck for the exam, and of course some administrative explanations. Perhaps I want to start with that. There were some doubts about this Illumin. So I opened already my screen to explain you. So this is what Illumin looks like, okay? What you have to do is you have to upload only your personal reflection in Illumin. And why only your own personal reflection is because you own every student for the whole prepa. They have 1 gigabyte of space, so we cannot upload too much because then you will not have enough for other subjects. But basically Illumin is this, and all your things of your prepa will be stored here. And this is a very nice platform because look, here it says Remy Nets. I'm a teacher in sciences, and I am the teacher of this subject, Fundaments of Life, Actividad, Key Activity or Actividad Eje. And what is the good thing about this platform is you see here all the names, but I see nobody uploaded it yet, because otherwise I can see that, here maybe, yes, this person. Are you sure? No. Why is she in a different color? Normally it appears here in a different color if the student uploaded the work. So that's where I can see it. And then basically, these are the competencies, the attributes and the competencies that we want you to have. And the nice thing about Illumin is, in fact, that you get an idea of, in words, of what your evaluation is. It's not calificar, it's not grading, okay? It's evaluar. It's we want to see and evaluate how you do in all those competencies. For instance, identify the options of the existing options before making a decision, which decision you have to make. And this is something that I have to do to see how advanced, average, or if you are still elemental in certain parts. So that's why you have to upload it. It will happen for a lot of students. For all the students, we will do this, and it will happen in certain subjects. So that's the thing. You have to upload things both here in the end here in the core activity, so the personal reflection and the work. You're only going to upload the personal reflection. Is that clear? And you have now 2 documents, the one of bicultural with different kinds of questions. You have the one of multicultural that I sent you. There is not one wrong and one correct. They are both useful. It's a personal reflection, and personal reflections can be built in different ways. So you can use both documents, or you can use only one. The idea is just that you give a complete personal reflection about what you did, answering the questions that you could take into account to do that, okay? And this is aside the core activity. All these activities of the biotic relationships, I unpublished them because I'm not going to ask you to do any homework anymore. So this is not what we're going to do today. I do want to see a little bit of the content. So just the 5 or 6 main things. So that's it. And then of course we have the final exam. It's not made yet, but the final exam, you can expect of the final exam that it's basically a first partial and a second partial combined. So you will get between 100 questions, between 100 and 150 questions, more or less. I think it will be more close to the 100 than the 150. And about all subjects. So what is your guide? Your guide is basically your modules contenidos page. You're going to see module 1. It's not really the content, but we're going to do, you have to study the scientific method. You have to study the characteristics of life and organization. then biomolecules, the microscope, origin of life. Then in second partial, the cell theory and the classification of cells, which includes the cell organelles, the cell transport, genomics and biotechnology. Then what is mitosis and meiosis and cellular reproduction, genetics, inheritance, evolution, ecosystems, energy flux, which is cellular respiration and photosynthesis, and then biotic relationships, of which I will not ask a lot. Maybe there will be a very little question in it, but really not really anything to worry for you. Are there any questions about this?
I'm sorry, it kind of was like, what was the subject we were not going to have a lot of questions about?
The last one, the biotic relationships, because normally we have 2 more classes to finish this, and we don't, because today is our last class. I mean, today finishes the semester, so tomorrow we will not connect, so we cannot finish this. So this last one of biotic relationships, we will not do. So basically what you have to do to finish this subject is basically make sure you hand in today the practicum of photosynthesis and all the other works. Try to hand in if you forgot something, but the due dates, they have passed. The last due date is basically today of the practicum, so you still have today to finish that. Make sure you're ready with everything. And then, of course, do not forget this core activity, which is for Friday, because you got like 3-4 weeks to do that. But on Friday, it has to be handed in. And if you do all of this, this subject is done. And the only thing that is still left is the final exam, which we will do on the 2nd of December. So normally I will design it somewhere next week, because it's the 2nd of December is next week. I don't think it's really that far away. It's in exactly 1 week.
How much time will we have for the exam?
The exam, good question. I think all the exams are the same. All the final exams, in Prepatec, they're always the same. Usually they are organized from 8 o'clock to 10 o'clock. So I will put that into the announcements for the final exam. Unless they tell you different, it's always from 8 to 10 o'clock. Okay. And what you have to study, your guide, like I said, is basically the modules you have in each week. You know, that's everything you have to do. I recommend you to use your notes, like I have been telling you from the beginning. And even on the 2nd of December and the 3rd of December, we will do revision. I will also tell you in the announcements how revision will happen. You know that it's not it's not a way to ask points or anything. What you're going to do is on the end of your exam, you're going to say like, I'm not sure about question 12, question 50, and question 42. Okay, and you're going to write me a mail and you tell me, I just want to have a look at those questions because I don't agree with the fact that it's wrong, or I think I have it right, or I don't understand why. And then those questions will be revised, and not the whole exam, because that's really labor intensive and not efficient. So take that into account, that whenever you finish your exam, if you have doubts or you don't agree with your answers, because in the end you see your answers, then you write down just the number of all the questions. I will put it in the announcements, and then those things will be reviewed. Okay, that's the nice thing about Canvas, that the revision can be with just a simple email that I answered you. In case you want personal revision or you really want to discuss something, of course, there's no problem. You ask me and we connect with Zoom and we have a look at your exam. You have the right to do that. If that's necessary, I'm very willing to do that. So is that clear about the exam?
Yes.
So summary, exam next week, Wednesday from 8 to 10 o'clock. You will get about 100, 150 questions about everything. Your guide is the modules that you find in Canvas. It's basically everything that we have done. You don't have to study too much biotic relations because there will be no questions about it. And the exam revision will be the same day on the 2nd of December and the 3rd of December, not after that. And you request your revision of exam by writing me an email, not WhatsApp, please, an email, by saying, I want you to check question 12, 35, 45, and 49 and 80, for instance. I don't know, whatever. Okay. So everybody has the right of revision, but it's not an automatic thing. You know, you're not automatically getting revision. If you don't request me, then I assume that everything is fine. Okay. And also make sure you do that on the second or the third, because after that points will be uploaded and changes are not possible. Also, I already want to tell you that do this final exam well. There is nothing in Tec de Monterrey that is, hey, you finish the final exam, but you have 68 as a final grade. Yeah, I'm very sorry, but there is no options like, please teacher, I give you some kind of work to get a higher grade. That doesn't exist, that option. It's not possible, okay? So from the moment the grades of the final exam are there, then that's where it ends. There is no discussion, there is no negotiation, and there is no extra quizzes or second chances or extra works that you could do. It's just not part of the system, okay? Everything clear here?
Yes.
So the
Okay,
day
perfect.
of the exam, December 2nd, do we join this Zoom or do we
Yeah,
just do it
of
by
course,
ourselves?
you join Zoom. I usually put lockdown browser, but then I see that there's so many issues with it. The thing is that we don't really need lockdown browser, I think, because you have a time limit, you know, and you cannot backtrack the questions. So it's not that you have a lot of options to cheat. So I prefer to do it like that than with installing programs that only complicate things. But yes, you have to be in Zoom, of course, to see that it's you that is doing the exam, and you have to put on your camera, okay? Okay, anyway, I will put a summary of the information in the announcements of Canvas today so that you have this already. Okay, then guys, you know, I do this often. Let's talk about the future. Okay, can you see this Bloomberg article on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, what are the best and the worst places to be in the coronavirus era? Okay. Well, this is a very pessimistic article, guys, but it's based
Mexico's
on
one of the worst. Yay.
yes, it's based on profound research and of all the countries that they investigated. So New Zealand is the best, Japan is really good, Taiwan is really good, certain countries in Europe are doing really good. But then if you look on the bottom of the list, we're both there. It's Belgium and Mexico. So why is Mexico really on the bottom of the list, even more than Belgium? Belgium also has its reasons, because we have a very old population and a very high population density in the cities. So it really doesn't matter standard of living. But the problem of Mexico is basically that they had already a lot of debts and they don't have good access to the vaccine. You know, that's why it comes on the last place. And you can see that in this article of Al Jazeera as well. You see here the countries that pre-ordered vaccines, and you see here Mexico ordered 32 vaccines. So, okay, they did something, but if you look at which vaccine they ordered, the Gamaleya, it seems that the Gamaleya vaccine is really not the best. You know, it has limited approval status and it has a moderated immune response. And they only have 30 million of them in a country of 130 million. So basically, this would mean that Mexico is going to stay behind but with other words, the vaccine is just not going to be available when it's available in other countries. So this makes me think that we are good for another year of having consequences of this coronavirus still in Mexico. In Belgium, it's on a very low place because we had a long history of a lot of fatalities. Total deaths per 1 million. It was very high in Belgium because we have a high old population. And the air is not so good in Belgium, you know, especially in colder periods. You have a lot of smog accumulation above the cities, and especially in winter, it's causing a lot of problems in those people. causing higher deaths, especially with a virus related to pneumonia. So yeah, there's other countries in problem, but it's a pity that we are here in the bottom of the list. I mean, we will see what this really means. On the other hand, if you look to the Netherlands, which is the country next to Belgium, they're really well. So there is something about it, you know. And then of course Mexico being really on the last place, it's possibly, I think it's more pessimistic than the reality, because these numbers are based on situations in Mexico City and other big cities in Mexico. In fact, in Saltillo, we're not that bad. Of course, what is a little bit bad about it is that you notice really that people, they stop caring a little bit, you know. That's a pity, but people, they don't take the measures anymore. They take it as a part of life. And I think all of you know people that have been infected. I told you last time, all of you know. Do you know already people that died of the coronavirus?
No one
Yes.
close to me, but like I've heard friends of friends of friends of friends.
Okay, we have to see what happens, guys.
No, I have like friends who have COVID.
Yeah, I also had.
Like, and they're in tech too, actually.
Really. I'm sorry to hear that. So yeah, guys, try to be resilient. I mean, I'm really not, I really don't want to be pessimistic or anything. I'm not that kind of person, but I just want you to confront with the facts and see what it looks like, okay? So we really don't know how 2021 will start. It's a big question. Sometimes there are signs that things will be okay. Then there is signs that things are not going to be so okay. Yeah, we have to be careful and take care of ourselves and not thinking that it's over. You always, I mean, being prepared for something always means that you keep all options in your mind. You know, what are you gonna do if this? What are you gonna do if that? That's what makes you strong, and that makes you, in fact, the best. Makes you the best to adapt to the situations you will be confronted with. And I don't think you have to see it as negative or anything. It's just being prepared and being honest about the situation, you know. I think somebody prepared should always have a look like what are the options you have, and yeah, what are we facing? Are you hearing me correctly? Because I noticed my microphone was not even connected. So now
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
we were
can
hearing
hear
you
you
good.
correctly.
okay. Yeah, I have a more fancy one like this one. I mean, you cannot say it.
Uy, uy, uy.
Okay, so guys, before, is there any questions about coronavirus? Is there any questions about exams? Is there anything that you would like to tell me in this last class, or you want, yeah, I don't know, you want to discuss?
I
Like
have a
Mr.
question.
Oh, okay, Bicho, you
Yeah.
go first.
Well, no, bueno, like I don't remember. I don't remember what I saw this, but in some icebergs there are some viruses captive and alive. Um, are they dangerous, Mister?
Which kind of viruses are you talking about?
Let me see. Like they were trapped on some icebergs. Mm,
I think what Bichara is trying to say, like for example, when the icebergs were made, like they were viruses, and when they froze, they got trapped there. And now that the icebergs are melting, can the viruses like re-rise? I think kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah, what they mean is that our immune system isn't ready for those viruses since they're so old, and our immune system is only made for viruses that are at least like a century old or 2 centuries. Um,
yeah, that those
kind of,
viruses are called like giant viruses, something like that.
yeah.
Um, look, I think there is indeed. I know what you mean because I also saw it. There is some reason for concern here because indeed there are viruses that humanity has never seen that is trapped in bubbles of ice and they're frozen.
just like certain bacteria and other live organisms. And if the ice melts and it comes in contact with hotter water, they may come in circulation again. Nevertheless, you have to take into account that there is viruses everywhere on the world. There is many types of viruses everywhere, and it doesn't necessarily mean that those viruses immediately are able to infect humans. Because that's the characteristic of a virus. Basically, they're adapted to a certain species, because a virus always is like a kind of parasite. You can see it always needs a host to reproduce. And when viruses of very long time ago are trapped and they are liberated now, it's very likely that the animal that where they were hosting and where they could reproduce well, that maybe they're not around anymore. So I think there is not that much risk, but there is some reason for concern, because of course, if there is life forms captured, they can always mutate, and they can mutate in a sense that they could infect humans. But in the very end, I think that it's not really worth panicking yet, because like I said, viruses are everywhere, and a virus that has been captured for such a long time didn't evolve. So in fact, it's, for me, it's more scary, the viruses that have been around, that are in the Chinese markets with all kinds of animals, and the viruses that are in bats in caves that had thousands and thousands of years to evolve and that were already out. If they didn't make to infect us with a big exception of coronavirus and certain flu viruses, then I think there is not that much risk in those viruses that have been frozen for such a long time. They just didn't get a chance. I really don't believe that there is a virus that can immediately start infecting humans on a big scale, that has been trapped, because viruses, they have been around all the time, and they had all possible chances to start infecting. But of course, we have to be vigilant, because like you said, it might be that there is certain characteristics there that these viruses, they don't have it anymore. So yeah, they have been discovered that they are locked up in ice, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's a reason for panic. So I would not be too stressed about it. In fact, why are we seeing the coronavirus? Why are we getting ill? The answer is the same. Um, did you know that in fact, of all the animals that live in the world, that more than 70% is like cows and chicken, and that there's only like 30% of all the animals still living in the wild. I don't know the exact numbers, but it was in a documentary of David Attenborough. The problem is just that biodiversity is gone, and this gives us a problem. It's the same with banana plantations. If you have a lot of bananas, well, everybody can get sick. If you have big groups of people, everybody can get sick very easily. We're not meant to live as we do. We are not meant to live in mega cities. We're not meant to live with millions and millions in one little small surface. That's why we're seeing pandemics. And don't think that coronavirus is the first one we see. No, we had SARS virus, we had MERS virus, we had swine flu, we had other influenza viruses. This is something that became more and more serious in the last year, and it's something that we will keep on seeing, because we just keep on reproducing. We live with a ridiculous amount of people on this world. It's really not sustainable. I mean, this is something that should worry you.
And do you think that by the third semester we could go to like mixed?
I think there is a chance that maybe next semester we will go to a hybrid model. And I think that because even if Mexico doesn't have vaccines available, in the end, uh, the virus is spreading fast. A lot of people are getting ill, but this also means that you get a phenomenon which is called herd immunity, which means that people that have been sick they can get sick again, but they would not get sick again in 2 or 3 months after being contaminated with the virus. So basically, what I'm trying to say is that I think what will diminish is the daily new infections. It will flatten off automatically because people already have been infected. So I do think there is a chance that the semáforo, as they call it, of the city, which is now in orange, that in February it will go to yellow, and then maybe in March or something it will go to green. And I do think we have a good chance that we will go to campus for certain classes next semester, but it will just be because the virus has been spread everywhere, and people have been sick already. Just that yeah, the population has been in contact with the virus, and the worst will be over after winter. We see that in other countries as well, you know, when the cold and the influenza time finishes, that things get better. So I do think that also that it will flatten off, it will go a little bit less. We will get, of course, one big spike again because of two reasons. Because of the cold that is coming next week, so that's not helping. Because this cold announces the income of the flu and the influenza virus as well. It will be there in January, I think. And then the other thing is Christmas, of course. I mean, um Christmas is important for many people, and they will break rules. They will say, no, we deserve to travel. Let's go. We want to see the family. People will go from different places to see each other, which of course is never good for the virus. So I think we're still ahead of one big spike, which we could call the Christmas spike, or the Christmas wave, or the third wave. And this goes hand in hand with the colder temperatures, because basically it hasn't been really cold yet. I mean, they say that next week it will be a little bit colder, but until now it has been quite pleasant, you know. It has not been that cold. So, but of course, I don't know, guys. It's really, you can ask the best virologists in the world. They will not know. They can only guess based on experience and comparing what happened with other countries. But what is for sure, that it's not over yet. That's for sure. Anything else? How have you been doing, guys? Like, are you did you take already? Um, are you in peace with the fact that you're at home behind the computer and that it will last for a while longer, or you're really desperate and you think like, no, I cannot deal with this anymore? How is?
Yes, sometimes one and sometimes the other. Like sometimes you get desperate, and sometimes you're like, ah, I can take this one day more.
Yeah, I think the worst for you guys, what would be the worst for me as well, is when I was in prepa, is the thing that it's very important to have social contacts right now. I mean, it's very important to hang out with each other and do stuff, and this is very limited, you know. Especially in prepa, you have to work on your autoestima, like they say, you know. I mean, it's normal that you're uncertain and you're afraid, and you feel insecure sometimes, and really prepa is good for that, because in prepa what you have is that you get in contact with other people, and you notice like, this person is really popular, maybe I'm not so popular, and then this person is really cool and I'm a little bit more nerdy, or I don't know. It's all these questions that you have for yourself, and you learn to know yourself, and doesn't matter what you are, we're all okay. And you will notice that when you go to university, I was very happy with that when I went to university, because in prepa it was all about like, no, I'm pretty, I'm handsome, I'm cool, I'm the best sport person. But this in university is really not that important anymore. Once you go to university, I mean, people, it's not really like popularity is not linked anymore to how pretty or handsome or how cool you are. It's really, people are looking for who is the smartest, who has the best vision, who is the best, yeah, who is the most talented person. And I felt better in university, in fact, because in prep I was also a little bit insecure of myself and I didn't know how to deal with things, and I was also a little bit rebellious, let's say. I did a lot of tonterías in prepa, but that's why we have prepa, of course. Anything else you would like to discuss? Because in fact, I mean, I'm not even gonna do this biotic relations anymore because it's yeah, I'm not gonna ask anyway anything from it. So, but I just wanted to tell you, if this is the last class, that I think you have been a very good group, and you all have been very participative. And I see the grades are nice, you know, I'm happy with the grades. I think everybody can still pass. It looks really good, and I haven't seen this in other classes. Of course, we had the content has been a little bit more light. I've told that from the beginning, of course. But anyway, you did great, guys, and you were an amazing group. And I next semester you will be mixed up with the other group, but we will be still here, okay? And I'm looking forward to that. I think yeah, it's been nice. Even if it was Zoom, I really hope we can go to campus to really meet you in person. I don't even know how tall you are. Sometimes there is always one or two that are really tall, and you remember them really well. But I know very little of you, and that's a pity. But I did enjoy teaching to you, and I'm looking forward to having you next semester.
Prof, I'm 2 meters 10, just in case you ask.
Nah, Santiago, you cannot be too much.
Eat,
Yeah,
eat.
I'm
Sure.
sure I'm just like 2 meters tall.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
210.
I'm just one
Huh?
meter,
The
1
same.
meter 20.
I'm really short.
I think I had only two times.
I'm really short too.
I only had two times student that was taller than me. It was like two years ago. There was one student of 2 meters tall. In fact, but I'm quite tall, guys. Don't think I'm short. I'm 1 meter 87. So,
Oh, mister, I think I'm the same as you.
really? You're also tall?
How much, Profe?
El Carlos beats you, I
Yeah.
think.
How much?
Yeah.
How tall are you, Prof?
I'm 1 meter 87. How tall are you, Carlos?
No, I win. I'm 1 meter 90.
90 what?
Yeah, nah, I win.
Okay.
Big Carlos.
But I still didn't get how tall you were. 1 meter 90 something or what?
1.90, de que sí, exacto.
Okay. Well,
How tall are you, Remy?
I'm 1 meter 87.
Ay,
Yeah, but guys, it really doesn't matter. I mean, it doesn't. Being tall doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you a smarter person. It doesn't make you anything. It's just being tall. It doesn't say.
nah, but it's school, teacher. I'm like short.
Huh?
Yo apenas mido 1.30, profe, o sea, no manches.
Really? No, you cannot be 1 meter 30, Arturo. I don't.
Sí, era
Arturo,
broma,
you
era
would be
broma.
like 1 meter 30, like on my waist, something like that.
Pues sí, estoy chiquito, estoy en chaparrito.
Doesn't matter, Arturo. Your size really doesn't matter. I have had really small students that were geniuses. So never feel bad about yourself. I really think that it doesn't matter how you look, if you're small, tall, strongly built, slim build, or whatever. We will talk a lot about this next semester. I think it's very important that you learn to accept yourself and love yourself, because if you don't do that, I mean, I think it's ridiculous nowadays in society if you look, like how much importance we give to how we look. I'm even sometimes surprised, like if you see the biggest YouTube stars and stuff, it's all about how to put makeup and how to combine clothes and everything. I mean, why don't we admire guys like Elon Musk and stuff? You know, I mean, some do, but. So guys, yeah, basically that's what I wanted to tell you. Let's leave it here. We see each other again for the final exam, and I really wish you good luck with this. And we are seeing each other again next semester. Also, I want to recommend you. It doesn't really matter that much, because we have been online all the time, but mix up with each other, you know, that you also learn to work with other students. Group number 6, there is more girls there than boys. I think here there's more boys than girls. There's a really nice group. In fact, they're very, very nice girls as well. So mix up with each other and learn to know each other, work together. You have all prepa long, you have 6 semesters long to mix between each other, and the more people you meet, the more possibility you have to make friends for life and meet people that you think are very, very interesting. So so don't stick to each other only, okay? I mean, of course, if you're the best friends ever and you want to stay together, of course, stay together, no? But I just want to recommend you that. And if nothing else for the moment, then please go. And I, for the last time, really, I want to wish you very good luck for the final exam, okay?
Yes, Mr. Thank you for
Thanks,
everything.
Teacher,
Thank
Thanks
you.
for everything, yeah.
thank you for
Best
everything.
class. This is the
It
best
was
Have a
class.
nice
Bye.
winter
It was
break.
very good.
Bye.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro.